Actually, running 2 weeks late with those bluebells. Now, the reason that Britain is just a joke for nearly 20 years I've been attuned. Oh, better hide this stuff. It's my work. What's that? Oh, that's... oh well. We have our handkerchief there. Oh, I haven't put that video up there. See, if you're a tramp, if a really posh person came along who seemed to have good body language, at ease in the countryside, but was wearing £300 Newberry boots, and we had a chat, and they had, it's more often than not she, had 50 acres over the hill there, and I tested her. Are you pro-EU? Because I will only work for pro-EU people, even though it's finished and I'm leaving Britain. And you test them, because they've all become so precious. So if well, actually I do know 2 or 3 of them that completely prove the point, but they're always over 60. By the time they get to 60, my friend Doreen, she came by this morning. She's 65, no, nearly 70, had a farm, and she speaks it like it is, even telling me about her lover, a recent-ish development in her life, but he died. Yeah, so test them. And if it seems like, well, you can't do this, if you want to be their slave and rebuild their fences, their rotting, badly hung gates, they've all got badly hung gates. Even my favourite farmer. I might get this out and do a bit of that. And they think, you may be in what my friend calls a pikey van, but you're clearly not a drug addict. Anyway, I've done films on that. This is about simplification, getting through their prejudices and foibles, which have got so much worse since 2020. I don't care. Why did I turn this on? Oh, I know. Oh, better not have that showing. It's got my bank login. Except it's in a code. You can't trust anything. Right, quickly. Yeah. For 20 years I've been very much involved, although I kind of partly gave up, in the genuine, actual, real psychological health world for families and parents and whatever. And I'm an expert in actual mind, body, soul, not the made-up hocus-pocus version. Any farmer knows that their stock, if brought up in stressful conditions, which can just be noise, like near a medium-sized road, the offspring of the stock will be smaller for life, and more nervy, etc. So you see, you have all your flipping new age queens who've taken over around here, and they're just all, funny thing is, deep down, they're so desperate now for customers, money. I'm meant to be sitting up. I do not have a double chin. Anyway, why did I mention them? Yeah, I know why. I have listened to this, and it got so much worse in 2020. People I know well and work for using their Facebook to preach their mindfulness, their oh, for God's sake. Okay. And then the environmentalists. So your bossocracy of health, well, they aren't talking about health, but a lot of them, the whole damn industry, that I won't speak to anybody in Britain now, because everybody goes on about their body, their health, and it's all just almost all of it bullshit, unless you do good food, obviously, lots and lots of quite strenuous exercise. In my case, that's walking, and I'm not quite up at the right exercise level again because I've been busy doing certain slight rescue missions, but also, particularly in Britain, particularly after we have had a genuinely colder than average winter, when the sun's like this, take your work outside. This is work. That's writing. That's on the Sublime. I'm good on the Sublime. Take your work outside. I've been studying here since 8:30 in the morning. The door is there. The vehicle's positioned such that the wind is northerly today, up that direction. So it provides a little bit of shelter, and it's been absolutely great. Absolutely paradise. Charge up with some UV, particularly, and you know, the environmentalists, if they just said, hey, all you people, rather than sneering and like basically deriding, which never works. Hey people, okay, look at him, okay. I haven't been on a flight for, I've been on one flight in, flippin' heck. Is it 2005? Yeah, in 18, oh shit. Yeah, it is. One flight in 18 years. I always have a good tan by May, always. This year not so good, because I arrange my time. The environmentalists should be preaching, hey, if you're a conceited sunshine addict, which actually does override the small possibility of increased cancers, and I've been in Saudi Arabia with no hat on in midday, a lot, well, enough, even in my teens due to a family connection. Anyway, get yourself out in the British, particularly sort of April sun, recharges you, and then you'll also have a nice colour, so you don't have to go abroad. If you use this thing we've had for decades, and okay, the BBC always exaggerate, always, the warnings, always. Often they'll be forecasting a whole day of heavy rain when actually it's only 2 hours. But it's there. I know that today and tomorrow are really nice sunny days. Organise my work, this is work, doing my very last slight social work, slight rescue case of somebody. Very last. Nobody can read, nobody can listen. With an above average intelligence person. And I know that Wednesday and Thursday are also going to be like this. Organise your work so that you out getting this super immunity system boosting, all sorts of other systems boosting, natural, free remedy. There you go. No green can say this, no medical person can say this in Britain. I know, because I've been monitoring both very, very carefully for 20 years. Not because I have any concerns about, I ignore almost all medical things. And guess what? If you have those three strategies, your body, your natural immunity, your systems, some of which we don't understand even, but there's one undoubtable question: they are not damaged by UV, because we are a species that evolved. Now you can say that we evolved in the I can't remember, Mary Midges, we evolved in the wooded areas of Africa. That's irrelevant, because I can tell you for a fact, if you live somewhere that's unless it's very hot, 10,000 years ago here, or 12,000 after the ice, or actually 11,700 after the ice retreated, if there was a tribe here, I can guarantee you in February, March, even if they lived in the woodland, they would be out getting as much sun as possible. They would move their whole life out into a clearing where they're getting natural sunshine just to warm up. You feel so much more energetic, particularly after a tough winter. We have evolved to have quite a high level of UV, which means, and infrared, which means our systems, all of them, including those we don't yet understand, and there are plenty, are optimized to perform at their best, particularly in the spring, when you're coming out of what Stone Age man would have had, which is a sort of semi-hibernation state almost, or certainly a lot of time locked away in the cave. Your systems are evolved. They're optimized to the early spring sunshine, particularly to boost them up and sort your bodily issues out. But no, medic or green, certainly mindfulness practitioner or any kind of wellness practitioner ever says this, because A, they're all thinking, oh, well, if I expand a bit and end up with an employee or two, I have to be risk averse because I'll be having an insurance policy that is, at the end of the day, almost always rooted in American attitudes, and it will be, oh, no, sunshine gives immediate life-threatening cancer, so they can't even recommend that. Some may a bit, but they don't emphasize it. And more importantly, they don't make any money out of it. There we go.